Well, I take it, provided the stage win is out of the window, they'll battle each other. These guys, well, Koshevoy just flicking the arm out, and Jerome Cousin has expended a lot of energy just to get back up towards the front. Great guts and verve being shown by the Europe car rider right now, Sean.
Yes, well, he bridged that gap across to Koshev very, very quickly, and both of them, you know, are looking starting to tire, but Cousin there is just sitting for the moment. Is he just playing the bluff? He's shaking the head there, you know, saying that I'm not able to ride, I cannot just do anything for the moment. But again, they have to continue on walking. They can't start playing around and looking at each other, as the gap is just, you know, 2:13 at the moment, with 2.8 to go.
Well, 8% gives way to 4%. This is that area I was telling you about, a bit of kidology perhaps, or just lulling everyone into a false sense of security. They've got 2 minutes and 11, this pairing. It may well be the remainder of the breakaway do get caught as the GC men start to test each other out. See whether it's just a podium place that is up for grabs as we look down, and as you can see, Movistar still there. Valverde still being guided for the time being, hasn't really taken that extra step forward just yet. It's Quintana just behind him, Micah right there waiting to pounce, it appears, and Chavez in the red jersey. Dan Martin is just screened from you at the moment behind Tinkoff Saxo. There he is, suddenly comes into view. Likewise, Tom Dumoulin, who yet again has taken his rangy frame up this mountain. Aru's in the frame as well. Chris Froome is close at hand. Chavez, the leader in the red jersey. And Dan Martin looks like he's starting to get a taste for the day.
Yes, and they are just all leaning on the Movistar rider, Giovanni Visconti, who is just setting the pace here. Nobody from the big favourites showing their set for the moment, and as we get to, you know, just under 2.5 kilometres to go for our leaders, that is 2 minutes at the moment, looking really good for the men out in front, and it's Tinkoff Saxo who just want to set up the pace here.
Lindemann has nearly made it back on here, and I think that's courtesy of the fact that these guys are just starting to tire. Take nothing away from Lindemann. We mentioned he's been in a couple of breaks before, likewise today. He looked like he was suffering from dehydration earlier on. He took a couple of bottles, and most of them he threw over himself, and then possibly regretted that service had gone. Was it a lack of water? Has he now rehydrated, and can he find something today? He's got to pour it on, that's for sure, in another way, with just 2.1 kilometres to go. The gap 1 minute and 49, and Sean, it's doable, but they've got the worst case to come. They are about to engage with the hardest ramp of this climb, the breakaway that is, and these guys are still highly motivated to eat into that gap.
Yes, well, we can see here there's just new faces arriving on the front here for Tinkoff Saxo. It looks like Hansen there, Jesper Hansen, is pushing on the pace and pushing on very strong, and we can see up front here they're starting to stuff a big time, and with the very steep grading to come, depending on how they can just get themselves up that one, but you know, 145 they should be able to do it if they can keep on working as they have been the last number of kilometres. It just should be about enough.
Dan Martin with a new contract in his back pocket. He's off to Ethics Quick Step, so a change of colour for him. He'll be looking at black, white and pale blue. Looking in the green at the moment, or maybe in the pink metaphorically. Off he goes. Jerome Cousin has attacked now. He's taking on the worst of the inclines. That's where the crowds are, because they know these guys are going to come by slowly. The umbrella hat's on display. I'm sure a salesman has had some fun. And Lindemann realises that it's now or never. He goes, and it looks like Ilya Koshevoy, despite his brave effort on the approach to this section of the climb, has been found out. Will he re-find himself? Jerome Cousin suddenly runs out of gas again, Sean. Oh, it's constant battling here. Punch and counter-punch by all of this trio.
Yes, there's a big battle here between the three men, and the men we have out in front, you know, Cousin, I was expecting him to suffer on the climb. Also Lindemann, you would, you know, expect him that he would be in difficulty against the company he was in, but they are putting up, you know, a real big fight here, and Cousin, he knows that he has to try and, you know, keep on going, and if you can get away on your own, you can just give it your all. When you have nobody in your wheel, well, then you just concentrate on what's out front.
Well, the man who will be on his wheel in a moment is Bert-Jan Lindemann if he gets there. And just behind Lindemann we see Koshevoy. It's Jerome Cousin from Europe Car. Well, maybe more than anybody here, he needs this win because of what's happening with his team at the end of the season. Looking for work, I think. Well, calling yourself a stage winner from a Grand Tour is a very, very big thing indeed. Car just erroneously parked there with its back end left out. Too long for the challenge. We thought that about Tom Dumoulin. Where will he show himself today? Right now, Jérôme Cousin is showing his colours. It's the colour of green, but he's out front. 1,200 metres to go. And he's over the most difficult section, as he knows. He's just into it now. Oh, look at this, Sean. This is where it hurts.
Yes, this is where it hurts. And Lindemann looks, comfortable enough. He's just keeping Cousin there at 2-3 bike lengths and leave him setting the pace. But they will be aware that they cannot, just look at each other here. They have to continue on. And who's the one will, continue on setting the pace?
Micah looks like a meerkat, just almost looking at the horizon, trying to find where the breakaway is and whether they can get back and bridge over 1 minute 26. It's looking less likely. Flamme Rouge beckoning for the trio up front. They're grinding into it. They're almost at a standstill. Police doing a great job of keeping the crowds off the road, by the way. They've sent a division up here, and in fact the strong arm tactics are paying off. They're giving these guys space, and they need it, Sean, to fight through.
Yes, well, they need all the space. And we can see Dan Martin going in the attack, but is it again a little bit too late? As we can see, 1:26 at the moment for the breakaway out front, and they are starting to look at each other. They cannot afford to do that, but again they are, again another attack thrown in here.
Koshevoy comes through, takes the nose with 900 metres to go. Now it's 200 metres of 7.5%. It doesn't get any easier on the run to the line. He says no more. He starts to waver, weave side to side, further back down. Cyril Gauthier. Oh, and this is massive. Chris Froome, big questions asked today. We said it was a possibility. Now news will have got through to these guys, and I suspect they'll pour on the gas, the hurt, and Fabio Aru does exactly that. Look at this. This is about distance when it counts, and right now the clock is going to start counting on Chris Froome in this race.
Yes, well, we did say today we might see who would be in difficulty from the general classification, and what a surprise to see Chris Froome and Aru. I think he's been made aware. They have been preparing the train for a long time, and he's the one who was pushing out, trying to take the advantage here. And the interesting one is now the group out front is coming down very quickly, but I think our breakaway should be able to hold on. But Aru, we have seen him before, he can finish so fast.
He can finish fast, and that's what he wants to do. They've been told, go for it. Froome's in trouble. One of the major players is out the back, and he's starting to find some of those that have been in the break. Just coming by Amit Chirukka, we thought would be a major feature. He sailed by him. Micah realises the danger. He's gone off. Dan Martin likewise. These guys are in a sprint for glory, and right now they can possibly take it. Fantastic to see Ilya Koshevoy, who's refound himself on the incline. 500 metres to go. It doesn't stop the hurt, but it's going to feel absolutely joyous for one man, and I suspect it's going to be from this pairing. 38 seconds now back to Aru, and he's absolutely sprinting up this mountain as Froome starts to falter.
Yes, and I think they're made aware that the peloton of big favourites is coming up very quickly, and they have to just give it their all. And we see Koshevoy really pushing on here, but Lindemann looks to be the one who is playing quite tactically very good, following the other riders. And of course this sprint here is going to be, I think, between the two men now that are out in front.
Lindemann versus Koshevoy. Who'd have thought it, Sean? We described Koshevoy as the mystery man from Lampre. He's on form though coming into this race. Lindemann though has been kind of greedy when it comes to the sprints. There's Louis Meintjes, a part of this group, which includes our leader Chavez and of course Valverde. Doesn't look like it's going to be them either today. So between this pair, by the looks of things, we're in the final few meters. Who's going to steal it, Sean?
Well, it's going to be an interesting one. Lindemann looks to be the one who is that little bit more explosive when he does go in the attack, and we can see here he is the one with a little bit more energy left.
Lindemann, the brave, they're going to start calling him from now on. He's been in the break 3 days, stage 2, stage 4, and the big one for him, stage 7. It doesn't get much bigger or better than that for a breakaway rider. First time a breakaway has succeeded. He's broken everyone's hearts. The nearest man to him is Ilya Koshevoy. He crosses the line. The cars get out as quickly as they possibly can from the void, and it's going to be a void between some of the main players, Sean, and Chris Froome's being forced to fight back. He's got to find something, but finding it and playing that hand second is Fabio Aru at the moment. Here comes Chavez, he's turning it on as well. Aru crosses the line right now, and the clock starts to tick back. He's past Cousin, who is in the break, who crosses the line right now. Micah comes across the line, then Chavez, Valverde, Quintana, there's Louis Meintjes, Dan Martin as well, Pozzovivo, and we start to look back for Chris Froome. At what cost today, Sean? He's still out there and the clock's still ticking.
Yes, it is ticking, and all the big favourites there we see just around the 40 seconds when they came over the line behind our winner, and Chris Froome is just trying to limit his losses as much as possible here with a number of riders on tow.
Chris Froome hits the line. Well, maybe not an absolute disaster, but certainly a view, Sean, of what this race may hold or indeed deny some of the big names.
Yes, well, we can see there, you know, roughly 22 seconds, maybe a little bit more for Chris Froome, losing on Aru, a little bit less on the other big favourites, but again, it showed the cracks as we see another rider. It looks like TJ Van Garden coming over there at 128 also, so another rider for the general classification who losing a bit of ground here. And this stage today we were asking the question, would we see some cracks, and we've certainly seen that. Chris Froome, the big surprise to see him losing any time on the other big favourites.
Wow. And there Froome first to turn round and start to head back to his warm down, and wobbling almost into a motorcycle. Big efforts today. None bigger than Bart-Jan Lindemann. 3 days in the break. What was he thinking, we were saying? He was thinking a good strategy, and he delivered it.
Well, delivered it, yeah. What a performance. And it looked like on the earlier part of the climb, his movement on the bike, I thought he was at the end of his powers, end of his energies, but that is his style. And, you know, what a battle he put up. Was, you know, lost contact with the leaders a little bit, then fought his way back, and eventually just continued on battling and got the stage victory.
I think he'll get the combativity award as well. Absolutely remarkable. Kosciuszko, Aru, Cousin, Micah, Chavez, Valverde, Quintana, Meintjes and Nicolas Roche, the best of the Skymen. Wow. Well, we talk about stage 11 as a pivotal day, but today I think was that little early suggestion of what might be here. We'll see. Aru, Sean, what about that?
Well, of the big favourites, you know, he's the one who showed his hand. A real strong performance here in the very end. And of course, Astana, we did see they did a lot of work, you know, before the climb, on the climb itself. Closed up that gap very, very quickly to a 2 minute in front, which is normal because they were tiring, being out there all day. But you know, showing signs that he is one of the men who is in real good shape, but not taking a lot from the other big favourites. Chris Froome was the one who's lost a little bit more, but nothing major to worry about. I think it's early days, and maybe Chris Froome not in the rhythm he would like to be yet in this Vuelta.
Well, it's such a long race, any Grand Tour you can re-find your form, so fingers crossed for that. Even as a neutral, it would be great to see the fight being brought back, but taking it to everybody in the GC, Aru finished third today, got himself on the podium. Lindemann and Kosciuszko though. Lindemann the brave, Kosciuszko the great from Belarus. Dan Martin in 11th place. Just looking down this group, Chris Froome giving away 1 minute and 3 today, finishing just behind Chiruka. Frank Schleck getting up into 20th place. Nice to see for Trek Factory Racing that Frank is back in the zone, so to speak. Tom Dumoulin 14th today, Sean. He's still up there, he can't help himself. Well,
again, you know, a rider that can get up this sort of climb, and when you see there in the stage classification, the riders that you would expect to be there, a little bit of difference between some of the big favourites, but again, no major gaps for the moment. But again, you know, it shows that this little climb in the earlier part can make a lot of riders suffer.
Cousin
taken out by the motorbike.
Well, that is an absolutely...
Or did he touch a wheel?
I don't know. The motorbike stopped, but I don't know whether he touched a wheel or indeed the barrier. I'd like to see it again. We were wondering what happened to Cousin. We were clearly looking further down the mountain at the time. how sad is that for him? Because it was a big moment for Cousin. He said he was looking strong, and of course he's looking for work next year.
Yes, well, he was looking as strong as the other two. I think they looked like it was going to be a three-man battle. Then suddenly we see Cousin disappearing, and the question is, did he touch the wheel, or did he get touched, the rear wheel touched by the motorbike?
Can't give him his stage win back though, can you? Chavez leads Dumoulin by a margin of 10 seconds. Dan Martin in third place ahead of Nico Roche, Valverde, Rodriguez, Quintana. Aru up to 8th, 57 down. Moreno, Pozzovivo. That's your GC for now. Chris Froome in 12th place, a minute and 22 down. He started the day 55 seconds off the leader. Not disaster for Froome, but a warning sign, I think.
Yes, well, it could be a warning sign. That is the question. You know, is he still maybe just getting back into this race? Is he starting to suffer from fatigue after his difficult Tour de France?
Juan Antonio will have plenty to say. We still have the smiler in the red jersey, that's Chavez, but we have another man, Bart-Jan Lindemann, to be considered today for greatness. Likewise, Ilya Koshevoy will be joining Juan Antonio with Ashley after the break. Well, what a day we've had. A tough one, it always is on La Vuelta, and plenty more difficult days to come. If you're asking big questions on climbing days, and this man had the answers.
Brad, you have searched the victory a lot of times in this Vuelta, and you have got it perhaps in the more unexpected stage.
Yeah, for me it was unexpected. You know, it's finished uphill with a lot of classification guys and everything, and Saruka was very strong, so I'm happy I can make the victory.
Your most important victory in your career.
Yes, I think so. This is really special.
And this is special and important for the morale of the team.
Yes. We had in the beginning of the season a lot of bad luck with the guys, and we still fight, and every race is important, and now we have the victory. That's really nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sean, Lotto, Jumbo, they're finding their form late on in this season. We'll consider that again perhaps another time. Right now we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with Juan Antonio and Ashley after this.